But because there were so many uncharted mine shafts around the place, before we fired the heading, we would drill a little bit further into one of the holes, generally one forwards, maybe a couple in the backs, and then just spear one down into the floor, just for shits and giggles to see what was out there, because if you do hit something that's uncharted, 10 to 1, it's full of water.
Yeah, right.
Especially in Gympie, because Gympie is quite famous for being flooded.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
yes.
and
yes.
so you're in a confined area and you hit water, and you know things go south real quick. Because blokes die,
That's right. There's a reason why why we have to do it. And the same in coal, even in the open car, in the pit, and you're hauling out coal and you can smell it. It stinks. It's terrible. And then they come down and they'll do a breathe.
Yeah.
And if it's too high, we have to get out.
Welcome to the Beers with a Miner podcast. My name is Mad Mumzie and I've been driving the huge dump trucks in Australian open cut mines for over 10 years now. I wish I had $1 for everyone who said to me, "How does a little thing like you drive those big trucks? You must be rich. How do I get a job doing that?" My mining friends are asked these questions all the time too. This is what started the Mad Mumzie journey to share stories and tips from living a mining lifestyle and to let others know what it's really like. Tune in each episode as I sit down for a relaxed chat, usually over a few beers, with a fellow miner. Women and blokes with various experience, roles and opinions share their lessons and stories with you. Not everyone is cut out to be a miner, but why not? What does it take to thrive and survive in this industry? Now, let's dig in. Get it? Dig? Mining? Crack me up.
Well, hello and welcome to episode 92 of Beers with a Miner podcast. I am Mad Mumzie, and today I'm excited to share with you a conversation that was just spur of the moment, random, and I said, hang on, I'm going to hit record. And we were sitting out the back of Mum's, and we've had a visitor over from WA, and it was his last night. I think it was his last night, and he was heading off on his next adventure. He's trekking around in his trusty cruiser, or I don't know, whatever it is, car, with a camper thing on it and all that. Great setup. And he's, having fun, living the dream. And he called in here to see us because, don't drive past us, mate. But we were sitting out the back having a beer and talking about my podcast. Somehow it came up. And I shared with him about the episode I did with Mad Baz about mining acronyms and mining terms you need to know, and that they're bloody hilarious and all that. Then he started going on about some underground ones and how a lot of the older people didn't even know why they were called that. They were just called that ACB, whatever. That's so not it. But and then he said he found out why and what it was, and I was like, hang on. Can I record this? And he looked at me like I was a mad woman. I said, no, this is gold going to come dripping from the ceiling, and my peeps need to know about underground shit as well. Anyway, nearly 2 hours later, we were still going. I ended up asking him all about how he got into mining, what roles he's done, and he's a real storyteller, and it was just gold. By the end, we had quite a few beers, but hey, we were sitting at home, basically, out the back. And a couple of things happened along the way. There was an explosion, right? Make sure you're listening to that. An explosion next door. It scared the crap out of me, but kept recording, and I decided, don't worry, everyone's okay. But I decided to keep it in. And then we got called out by the supervisor from the house, because by then it had got dark and we're still out there drinking and telling stories, and by now I'm in full interview mode and asking him questions, and he was really good at keeping me on track. So it was just my trusty iPhone on the table at the gazebo. You can hear a few birds around as they were settling in for the afternoon, and it's just a really great conversation that I want to share with you. So I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. And to old mate, who is now a subscriber of the podcast and I'm sure has listened to a few, and I think he went through and found all the underground ones and had a listen to those, and also I told him the ones that family have been on as well to listen in. And now he has joined the Beers with a Minor guest club. Thank you so much for doing that with me. I really enjoyed it, and I know it will be valuable. And we'll have a laugh, right? Here's to you, and cheers to all the undergrounders out there. I don't know how you do what you do still. I stuff that. I'm not ever going under there, but I love hearing about it. Stay safe, and if you're new to mining, this is a good insight into what it could be like working underground. And a lot of this is WA based as well, but he has worked over here, which you'll hear a couple of stories about. Gympie, the town that saved Queensland when they found gold back in the day. Yes, this episode, if you're new, make sure you head to mining.teachable.com. Heaps of great resources over there for you, and especially if you've just got started into mining. Look for got a start date now what? Get in there, know what to expect. And if you haven't got that start date yet, it's all right. Still go there, because you'll get an even deeper insight than what you got on the how to get a job in mining courses. All right, and make sure you listen to Mining Terms You Need to Know with Mad Baz. But in the meantime, let's listen to this bearded underground fella, we'll call him. Some of you may know him, especially if you are from WA, or you know my family. We'll leave it at that. Okay, love to see you. Bye. Let's dig in. Get it? Dig. Mining. That cracked me up. This is so much fun. Okay, shut up, Mad Mumzie. We want to listen. And remember, the audio might get a bit... Actually, I'm surprised. I think it was pretty good. Anyway, let's do it. I've got the Mining Terms You Need to Know with Mad Baz, episode 44. And I have an underground miner here, and he's just telling me about some of the underground mining terms that even some of the older people didn't know about, like a VUG, not a bug.
Not a bug.
V for Victor, U for uncle. No.
It is, I think.
Uncle. G for graphite.
we need a glossary of terms for
what they are. I don't know. You can get together.
Alphabetical.
Yeah, but anyway, VUG.
Language.
Yes.
Whatever.
And so, can you just explain what a VUG is?
A VUG,
please.
Naturally formed void in hard rock. I don't know if it's the same in coal. Could be.
And see, that's good, because that's the difference. I've had coal mining underground people on the podcast, which you'll hear when you listen on all your travels.
I did download that other one earlier on with the underground dude. There's another podcast there.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Is there? I spotted one. I thought, I'll get that one too.
Oh, you did? Yes, there's one with Soraya, who was the real miner's apprentice electrician. She was an electrician, but he had to look after her. So you'll hear about that when you listen to the one with Mad Baz. And it says the episode number and all that. So, but yeah, we're talking about underground, and because you've never done coal.
No.
Right, hard rock. Cool. Would you ever do coal underground?
Yeah.
Yeah? You just haven't had the opportunity?
No, it's just, it was never been an opportunity.
Yeah.
Just moving around with the hard rock dudes, I guess.
And you were talking about some of the mining terms, like you'd seen a big long list at one point.
Oh, yeah, one
that
stage,
was
but
done.
my memory is too many beers away. And
Yeah, and that's fine.
But
you also said,
that,
which is what made me want to hit record, is that some of them were
you knew most of them, but there were some that were old-time miners and timber something or others.
Yeah,
and
timbermen
all
back
that.
in the day before they used mechanical ground support, meaning like a jumbo or air leg or whatever, they would just use timber, big chunks of timber. And I saw that in not Norseman, in Gympie.
Yep.
Old mining town, and we're breaking
Yes,
into these
Queensland.
old workings, down wherever it is now, Harvey Bay area, South Harvey Bay, and we weren't allowed to go in there. Once we if we hit one of these things, so we used to have to. So we take a 3 metre round, so we drill 3 metres or 4 metres in front of us, but because there were so many uncharted mine shafts around the place. Before we fired the heading, we would drill a little bit further into one of the holes, generally one forwards, maybe a couple in the backs, and then just spear one down into the floor, just for shits and giggles, to see what was out there, because if you do hit something that's uncharted, 10 to 1, it's full of water.
Yeah, right.
Especially in Gympie, because Gympie is quite famous for being flooded.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
yes.
so you're in a confined area and you hit water, and things go south real quick. So yes, that's what we did. But anyway, we did break into a few old workings. Thankfully, didn't have any water in them or much. And one of them, I walked down one day. It was just it was an old had old railway lines in it from when they used to cart the ore and shit in their little buckets. It had this timber that was, you wouldn't be able to do it on the surface these days. It was just perfect.
What are you saying? We can't do perfect shit on the surface?
It was just like, no, I mean, like if you're building something, I just don't see that craftsmanship anymore.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Old school.
Yeah, old school. And
working with wood.
And they're down there, and it's
underground.
and it's a case of, no one's really going to see it. It just needs to be strong or, fit for purpose.
Yeah.
Who cares what it looks like?
But it has to work and not fall down.
Well, that's right, yeah. But, it can be a little bit wonky over there or whatever. But this drive was just perfect. It was a string line set up, and I looked at that and I thought, yeah. And that's where you see some of the old miners, that their work is like, next level.
Yeah.
The young ones don't seem to give a shit so much. I guess, and it sort of gets getting bred out of them, or out of us too, The old miners had a lot of, respect for the rock, I guess, and also their work ethic.
And do you think technology has something to do with that?
Oh shit! Yeah, now the way we do it, it's just rattle, split sets go up. Mesh. If the mesh is a little bit wonky, who cares? But it should be all from a certain height from the ground, because that's like a regulation. But people are just not quite so pedantic anymore about that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was. And I used to I'd stir him up for quite a bit. You need to remesh that. And then the foreman would come down, old school foreman, and he would always pick on, that sort of stuff, which is good.
Pick on what? That it should be remeshed? Yeah.
You can go, you always go above and beyond the ground support standard. You can't take shortcuts with it. But even if you've got to put on extra mesh, you just make it look like it's not an extra sheet of mesh. It should be, it's part of the...
Right, this is what we meant to do.
Yeah. Make it look nice. And then nice means tidy, and then tidy is, you don't trip over shit.
Well,
roll up hoses, shit like that.
Oh, right.
I
remember when I interviewed a couple. I think all the underground miners that have been on the podcast, how uneven the ground is under there.
Oh, very, yeah.
And there's shit everywhere and trip hazards, and there's I can't remember the words, but I was like, really? I thought it would be just nice and flat and lit
No,
up
yeah.
and all,
Some
and
of them
all
are.
the things. It depends.
It
And maybe
depends.
some bits of a mine are, but the new bits aren't, or the old bit that you're moving away from and going to the next
Yeah,
part or whatever.
yeah.
And so what is it that you do? What do you operate now? Or
Nothing.
when you nothing
Absolutely zero.
Other than your beer can. Oh,
no.
hang on. No, now.
Even when I was working, I operated nothing. I operated a biro, a disto.
What's that?
That's like a laser measuring device.
Yeah.
Just turn it on, little red dot goes over there, press the button, and it tells you how far away you are from whatever that red dot's hitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else did I use? That was about it. Oh, and of course, my job was also to take temperature readings around the mine at times. Well,
But when you were jumbo operator?
yeah, I was a jumbo operator. I was a
So
charge
isn't
up
that
operator.
something that you operate?
Yeah,
What does
yeah.
a jumbo do then?
Just drills holes, basically. Drills holes, puts up ground support.
That's more than just taking
Yeah, but that was my last
temperature.
job. My last
Oh,
job.
your last.
Yeah, and before that I was a jumbo operator. Before that I was a loader driver. Before that I did a bit of long hole drilling, and before that I was on a let's say charge up loader, truck driver, IT, forklift, and not that we use a forklift very much because mostly IT, but up on the surface.
What's IT?
Integrated tool carrier.
Oh, so
Which-
not IT like technology is where my brain's going. I'm like, no, I don't think you do that.
No, I don't think there's anyone underground that knows how to work a phone. I mean, a computer.
So what is IT in underground then? See, this is where we need underground acronyms. This is your.
It is.
This is going to be your homework. To make a list for Mad Mumzie to share inside my got a start date now what course for underground people about what the acronyms are. Listen to the episode with Mad Baz first so you know where we're at. And then we definitely need the shits and giggles ones as well.
Yes. Back to the IT.
Yes, go. What's the IT?
It looks like a small loader, but it has a...
Oh, so it's a machine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yes. Yeah, they come in 1,000 different forms, or companies, or, manufacturers. Everyone makes one.
Right.
Komatsu, JCB, Caterpillar.
My fave.
Ooh, that's a not very long list. I thought it was going to be longer than that. But anyway, my brain...
3.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
So anyway, the front of it hasn't got a backhoe thing or anything. It's about the same size as a small backhoe.
Right.
Hasn't got no attachment on the back.
So a loader.
It has a bucket.
Yeah.
And then you can go with the switch, pins disengage, bucket stays there, you pick up jib. And then you can jibby things around the place.
What's a jib?
Jib's just like a crane, like a mast.
Right.
It's
So
just-
like a pole.
Yeah. Yes.
Ish.
Extendable boom, manually extendable.
Yep.
Looks like a big version of a HIAB,
Right.
which
I know
sits
what
on the
that
back.
is.
Yep, sits on the.
Yeah.
It's like a munga version of that, about this size. About a beer carton standing on its edge. If you can imagine, that would be the boom. That's the size of it.
Yep.
Pins are in there for extending it if you have to. A little hook on the end. And then you finish with that. You park that up, press the button, pins come in, go over the next one, and it will be a set of forks.
Like a forklift fork.
Exactly the same.
All right. Yeah.
Tines, fork tines, yeah.
Yes.
And
Oh,
so
the
you can move
tines.
pallets around or IBCs or whatever.
What's IBCs?
That's one of those 1,000-litre pods. I think it stands for International Bulk Container or something, so it's a standard size.
Right, with the wire around it and the plastic in
and
between.
everyone uses them as rainwater tanks and that
Yes!
sort of thing.
Oh, they do that in WA as well as here.
Yeah.
We do here too. Everyone's got one of those.
they're about
I
as-
haven't got one,
about as
by the way.
popular as a
I need
container.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the that's the
So it's like
IT.
a multi-purpose tool.
Exactly. It's integrated tool carrier.
Which is what you said.
Yeah.
Right. Now
IT.
my brain is caught up.
Yeah. So that's the IT. Most useful apparatus.
Yeah.
Oh, I got droopy ears. Of course, the most important thing, or the most, I was going to say popular thing it does, is it carries a basket, a work basket, quite a big work basket, probably 2 meters by 2 meters. It's as wide as the machine and pretty much square.
Yep.
They come in different shapes and sizes, and it also picks up those, and that's how the boys conduct all the service crew work and sometimes charging, anywhere you need to get off the ground, and there's no other way. Back in the day, you would stand in a loader bucket and just get lifted up.
Right, but that you wouldn't be allowed to do that anymore.
No, now we need
there's no procedure for that.
No, that was the way. So things are very easy then.
So
You
it's
just go,
like a
right.
man lift.
Yeah, like
a Manitou?
yeah, a Manitou's
I remember
another
a
one we
Manitou
use,
when they
similar.
bomb along,
Yep.
and then they can also pile all their tools and crap and shit in there, and then lift it up to the big diggers and to get it up the top
anything
when
you need to
they're
do up
doing
in
a
there,
shutdown and all that. That's
right.
how I know what a Manitou is.
Mm.
And they bomb along. Yeah, it's like a what you said.
Work basket,
Yes.
cage, basket we used to call them. Go and grab the basket. But see, like I say, it did slow things down. Well, it does slow things down considerably unless you have an incident. The loader driver's just down there. Hey mate, come up here. I need a lift. I need to turn this valve off. Zzz, up you go in the bucket.
Right. Yeah.
But now, oh shit, we need to turn this valve off. Floods. You know, there's shit going everywhere else. Everything's wrong. We need to get the IT. Oh shit, it's down here. Oh, and he's moving pallets of bomb in the magazine or something.
Right, it's doing important business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's more important business that just turned up because we've sprung a leak down there at
Right, we need to
37
stop
level.
the water,
and the jumbo's
the
down
blast
there,
wave, yeah.
and he's flooding because the pump won't keep up with this busted water pipe. So, but meanwhile he's still pissing. So then you, instead of getting the loader, which is just there, and just quickly lifting you up, turn the valve off. Oh, no. You've got to get this IT. And if you're lucky to have 2 or 3 on site, that's a great thing. But generally, it's one, and one the workshop has.
Yeah.
Then he's got to climb up the surface or somewhere, grab the basket, stop what he's doing, and help. And then you've got to find the service crew, which are the 3 monkeys running around that are supposed to be looking after this shit.
So what do you need them to do? Like, make sure it's going to work, or
No, just turn that fucking valve off.
or the service crew will turn the valve off.
Just turn the
Right,
valve off.
like the pumpies
Yeah.
on our.
I'd crawl up
Yeah.
in the back of the ute with a stick and try to do it while I'm waiting for him. But
Yeah, but you haven't been passed out on that stick.
on the stick, no.
To turn off a valve,
There's many,
and if shit
many
goes to
things.
shit, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, yeah. If I fell off the back of the ute, and what are you doing up there? Because I've landed on the stick, and it's worse than the incident the other night.
When you fell off the deck here.
So you can imagine, because at least there was no paperwork here.
Yeah, but there were any orchids down there that you might wreck? No paperwork.
Well,
only
I
orchids.
think the orchids was a good thing because it seemed to have given him some kind of encouragement to even hang these Elkhorn things as well.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
did a good job, and it looks really nice. It
That's
looks
right.
very, very nice. There's 18 of them here.
Yeah, there's always something to. We can always find an excuse for having another drink.
But we
Cheers.
did digress.
We did.
The pigsty.
Pigsty.
Yeah. Oh, mining terms.
Mining terms, yes. Copy.
Further from the timber business.
The timber, yes, and the old school.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And one of the old school things was if you needed to support ground that was like a big area, was generally it's 3 meters to 5 meters. 7 meters, I think, is the maximum width according to WA mine regulations, without having additional ground support above and beyond what you would have for a 5 metre drive.
Right.
So if they've designed a 5 metre wide drive, say it's 5 by 5, it's 5 metres high, it's 5 metres wide. That's your drive or your roadway or whatever you want to call it. Tunnel. And for some reason, which there are many, it's got too wide, and it's come out to 7 metres wide. Then it's a case of shut her down, geological and engineering assessment of the area, and then more ground support will go in. And that's typically a dog. That's typically cable bolts, which are just a longer version of what we normally use.
Yeah.
But back in the day, when they didn't have the tools and and the equipment we got these days, to support an area like that, they would build a pigsty. And a pigsty is a very simple thing. It is, say, anywhere between 4x4 to 6 or 8 by 8. And he's just set fire some rubbish.
Just sounded like a blast.
Yeah, no, I think he put a bit of petrol on him.
Yeah, right. It's all right because I saw the glow. I'm like, which. Anyway.
Yeah,
Reeves,
right.
it's okay. Come in.
You'll be right, Reeves, as long as they haven't got a bloke screaming over there.
Yeah, we can't hear any noise. It's okay.
Tired in the fence.
Is it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Is it? It's all right. You're all right. Might get a beer while we're...
Yeah, palm tree.
Right. Are you getting drinks?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. I'll stop this and then I'll record part 2.
Oh, yeah. We'll go back to this. We're not going to get to a pigsty.
Because I do... Yeah, we will. I do the editing, so, I do it all.
But if we can do it in one take, then there'll be no problems.
Yeah, but no, it's all good.
Now for a word from our sponsor, Julia Hartman and the Bantax Accounting Group. If you head to bantax.com.au/miners, that's BANTACS, you can download a free booklet, all just for us miners. And there's also a spreadsheet in there that helps you check off what tools you have for your trade, like your isolation lock, work boots, 7 shirts, all of these sorts of things, and you can weigh them up and it'll tell you if you qualify weight-wise to claim your trips out to work. I strongly urge you to head to bantax.com.au/miners and tell them Mad Mumzie sent you.
So if you've just joined us... It's okay, we're back.
It's hard to
Right, we're back.
explain things to people sometimes.
Which is why I do what I do.
Yeah, but even
people
taking
don't.
people down the hole and actually showing stuff and then trying to explain things. So you got to really, really try to make it. Compare it with something that they know.
Yes. Yeah, relatable.
Because saying a drift or a drive or whatever, they go, oh yeah, or a stope. Oh yeah. But if you just say tunnel, everyone knows what tunnel is.
Everyone knows, yeah.
Yeah, so,
yeah, that's where they spend all our money and royalties.
And the top of the drive is called the backs, and then you just go blah 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 blah. Well, up there in the backs, and they're not sure what you're talking. And all of a sudden, you turn around
my
and you
brain's
look at
going.
it and go, huh?
So the top of the backs is the top of the tunnel.
Yeah, is the roof.
Is
so
the roof.
that's
So
why when I
it's just called fucking roof.
because that comes from the old days when tunnels.
And we have to respect the old days.
Tunnels were very small.
Oh.
And when you're crawling around a tunnel, what's going to happen? You're going to hit your back.
Land you.
Because you're like this, backs. Because you're crouched over, doubled over, cruising through there looking for gold. And so that's one of the ones that went through the ages, and it's still called the backs because of the.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
And to know the why behind why shit's called shit, you'll never forget that.
And I imagine a pigsty was called a pigsty because someone would have brought a pig down there once and kept it for a while. And maybe. No.
Maybe. But what you put a pig in. So,
back to the
pigsty.
Back to that pigsty story.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that as a cage that you would keep a pig in.
Yeah, so it's...
And why are we doing it?
2 bits of timber.
Hang on. Why are we doing it? Because we've gone from 5 metres to 7, getting a bit wide. We need to bring it back
out of design.
Right, copy.
And obviously, the wider you get...
the more chance of the roof coming down.
That's right.
Oh, go me. Can I get a high five for that?
Go me.
Yeah.
We can't synchronise
No, we
these
do it again. We did it with footy. There we go.
I didn't even hear a noise then. That was really... That was like
an air.
Yeah, it was a bit of an airy. So you've got pieces of timber. So we'll make a small pigsty. So it's a 4x4 piece of timber, a metre and a half long, and you've got lots of them. You put 2 on the ground, and then 90 degrees, you put 2 more, so opposite.
Yep.
And then 2 more, and that's all it is. And then you just keep going like that.
Yep.
Until you got to the backs, and then
which is the top of the tunnel.
Which is the roof. And then you would put wedges in there. Just wooden wedges.
Yep.
And the great thing about wood underground is it's generally hot, humid, and wet, so the wood swells, which makes it even better.
Yeah. So
it gets tighter over time.
Tighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't get termites and shit down there either that would eat away. Maybe eventually.
You can leave an orange or a banana skin down there, and and you come back weeks later and nothing's happened to it.
True.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why anyone that drops food down there, I used to take a dim view to that.
Why?
Well, because it's not meant to be there.
Mm.
And then we've got bins.
Yes.
And I don't like an untidy workplace.
Right.
Yes. And these things, I spoke to people, but I used a lot more swear words when I said that.
And you know, the Beers with a Minor podcast is rated as explicit. So
really?
You clearly he hasn't listened yet. He's going to when he
I didn't know the rules.
Takes off on his track. You can swear as much as you want. And you know sometimes
you can edit it out like a
I'm the one who swears more than the person I'm interviewing.
No.
But I try to say not every fucking second fucking word fucking because I have to edit it. I edited that out. And I'm not a fan of the C word.
No, yeah.
So
that's
I don't think that's
place.
ever made it into my podcast.
No, it shouldn't either.
No,
not really.
Because I don't know. No. That's right.
But yes, I'm guilty of fucking.
So workplace cleaning up you were talking about.
It's also hygiene.
Yeah.
You know, it's confined space, so you know, you don't want, and you just don't want to look at shit lying around the place. Yeah. We do keep those mines surprisingly clean. There are some people, some mines, some places I've been that are not so good. That's it. Then it's the culture.
Yes.
The last 2 jobs the last 2 mines I worked in for the same company, same camp, but it was Rosemont, which was
this one band camp, which is all right. I can edit that.
What?
This one band.
Oh no! This is the mine.
That's what I mean.
The name of the mine. Oh, sorry, you're not even going to say the name of the
Well, you are
hole.
if you want to. It's a good thing. Because then nothing can come back at you.
Yeah.
At the moment, you're an anonymous, bearded, underground miner, right? Yeah. Which is how I try to run the podcast. Lots of people will say where they work and all that, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then it gives everyone the freedom just to be real and honest. And at this one band camp called Rosemont, which could change. But if it was a good thing, I can leave it in.
Oh, it's a very good thing.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's great.
So after all that, we're going to leave it in.
Oh, yeah. I will not mention the contractor I was working for.
You,
and I will not mention the client we were working for. But anyone that wants to research that will find out really quick. So anyway, Rosemont, I was there, I I think I got there 8 months after they cut the portal. I was going to be there for the start of the contract, but I didn't pass my medical. But anyway, I got in there. Very nice place. Kept it very clean. The culture was there from the start. And then I got moved to another portal they were going to cut only about 15 k's down the road. Same camp, everything. And that joint, we had the big kahunas come from everywhere to have a look at it, because the portal, what we did at the portal was next level.
Yep.
Made it look really, really good. And spent a lot of time on it. And then the standard in the mine, plus my foreman was OCD, which was a good thing. I didn't mind that. But the place was immaculate. I have never worked in a place so clean. It was shitty ground, which makes a mine hard to deal with when it's the ground's not so friendly.
Yep.
Because it just looks ugly, because it's got big, the ground falls out over there, and it's just not a smooth, nice tunnel.
Yes.
So but we did keep it nice and clean the best we could. And in saying that, it was only a new mine, which is easy to do. But when if you went to Mount Isa or Broken Hill or Kalgoorlie, those mines are massive. Yeah. And
they're old culture.
Old, yeah, and it's just you can't keep a mine. There was 700 odd k's when I was in Mount Isa. There was 700 k's of underground development.
700.
750, I
that
think.
Were old ones or new?
No, that's all. That's the whole thing. That's the whole shit show.
Wow.
Which is a lot of kilometres of mining.
Shit.
But it hasn't been there for like 200 years or something, but more thereabouts. Anyway, and the place I was working at, we would have had 100, maybe.
Kilometres.
Yeah.
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 That's a lot.
Yeah.
I remember going I've been from open cut one mine to another mine, and there's an emergency, and I'm the only water cart, and it's going to take me 3/4 of an hour to get there. And where are you? I'm like, well, I'm still coming, but the brakes are overheating, but I'm on the way.
Yeah.
And now I'm at the workshop, and now I've gone from my end of the pit to the middle bit, which is the workshop.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get out to the other side to where by the time you get there, the bulldozer's burnt. Yeah.
And another
that's
thing.
insane, those kilometres. Is that because my brain is... Hang on, I need to catch up. Is that because you go down, back, down...
Yeah.
Back, down, back... to if we added up our ramps to get down to the bottom of the pit.
Well, there you go.
I'm thinking of as a crow flies, but if you do it as the termite digs,
exactly. It looks exactly. It looks exactly like what you'd see the ants do. They don't just generally they go down like this.
Because it would fall down.
We do shafts too. I've only worked in one shaft, which was Mount Isa.
Yep.
But it's the same principle. But yeah, generally you spiral down, and you spiral down through, sometimes next to or occasionally through the ore, but very, very rarely. And then you just branch out. So it's not just going down. That's also including all the drives that are going out into the ore bodies.
To the sides.
Yeah.
He's got his hands out
like
Jesus.
And then it goes down another 20 metres, and it does exactly the same thing. It goes down another 20 metres, does the same thing. Generally, typically 20 metres between levels.
So you said Mount Isa is the only place where you've been where there's a shaft. Don't they all have a shaft?
Declines.
Portal
on the side of a pit.
So talk about portal. I was going to bring that up because we were talking about that before I hit record, I think. But what was the new fella calling a portal?
A porthole.
A porthole. It's not a porthole. It's a portal.
It's a portal.
It's a portal.
Portal.
Which is where I first started down in New South Wales was a gold mine, and they had a portal.
Yeah.
Because they had underground and open cut. But when I was in the open cut,
And I'd see that, and all I would say is, "Oh, there's yowies in there." And we used to drive past in our trucks.
Yeah.
And other mines, coal mines. Once I come back to Queensland, there wasn't a portal as much. I don't even know how they got down to
I must
where they were.
I must show you a video. I've never seen this before in my days, and it happened when I was out there where we actually mined, because we went down. We did our mining thing through the portal in a pit, because it was an active pit. That's where I was going before, because working with surface and underground together, dealing big trucks, little trucks, and integrating. Very diplomatic approach. But anyway, that's another story. We'll get into that. But you go down, but then you also need to ventilate a mine. There is a little bit tricky.
Yes, I've seen the and they got the flames coming out.
And there's a number of ways of doing that.
Yeah.
And this video is of what's his name? He was a good bloke. He's actually driving his loader.
This one guy at this one bang camp.
Oh, I like the guy so much. Anyway, he's actually driving his loader back. We're mining out into the pit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's you don't see that very often. And
so, what do you mean by that? Why don't you see that very often? You're like retreating out.
No. This was just to create a part of the ventilation circuit.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So this was because typically you would drive, or you'll send or make it so that the fresh air goes straight down through the main entrance, the portal.
Yep.
And then it gets exhausted elsewhere. So you really need two away. And there's also the second means of egress. You can use it in an emergency, that sort of shit. Yeah. And every mine's way different. And some of them are simple, some of them are quite technical.
Yeah.
That's why we have ventilation engineers and ventilation.
It's a whole industry around itself.
It is.
Well, and because we had a big shit fight here with one of our mines with the ventilation and the
ventilation's always that's why I run around with my little Kestrel, they call it. So that's the brand name of this bloody small phone sized atmosphere weather checking device. We had to have
like a canary.
It was,
but technically.
But this one I didn't have to feed, except batteries.
And didn't shit.
No.
Except it shits itself and doesn't have batteries.
Yeah, because we only needed three things. We needed because we didn't really we rarely monitored contaminants.
Oh, really? Not gases?
Yeah, there was gas detect, but not a lot of it. Mostly they'd be in refuse chambers, and far as air quality goes, that would be tested infrequently. But
really,
my job was, that's another one of the tools I hang around. To check every working heading at least once a shift, and that was air flow.
Yep.
Temperature and wet bulb, which is basically humidity.
Right.
And there were certain cut-off points. So I had to have at least half a cubic metre of flow every minute, a half a metre every second of flow, which is because it had this little propeller thing on this little phone, this little Kestrel. And then if you had 25 degrees temperature, 25 degrees wet bulb, you're grinning. Once it got to about 30 wet bulb in 25 degrees, it's getting a little bit, you need more, humidity. You need a bit more vent. You can still work in those places under special supervision with JHA and stuff like that, because it might be a critical part of the process, as in we've gone down too far, or we've gone as far as we can go kind of thing, and we need to start working on this ventilation rise. And because it's so shit already, and then you know that last little bit, and they always seem to bring it down to the wire.
Yep.
You know, it'll be beautiful working there, and then all of a sudden it's getting further and further away from the last fan. We need to do something about this, and so we'd have to go off and, because they want money, and we'd have to go off and do event rise or event drive or whatever.
They want production, but you need safety, or there ain't going to be no
that's
production.
right. And it's always comes up in safety meetings. Oh, it's too hot down there, and I'd shut jobs down, and other shift bosses would shut jobs down and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then it'd become a bit of a thing, and then the project manager, he's getting involved. But and so we needed to keep that, because blokes die, you know.
That's right. There's a reason why why we have to do it, and the same in coal, even in the open cut with the gases. I've been down, and we're down, cut through right down in the pit. And you're hauling out, and you can smell like the sulphur. I think it's sulphur, I'm pretty sure. It stinks. It's terrible. And then they come down and they'll do a gas reading. Yeah. And if it's too high, we have to get out. Because the seals and everything in the trucks are they're not enough in all the machines. You're breathing the shit. Or what about old mate getting out, walking to the truck, or the digger breaks down and the fitters have to come and work on it. And you're breathing in all this shit, and that comes down here to our OCE. He has the special reader of things.
What's an OCE?
OCE is the...
I know OCD.
OCE is the executive. It's in. You need to listen to episode 44. It is the fuck me. It is the.
Oh, you've got my frogs. Excellent.
I have got your frogs. Hang on, I'll have a drink.
I got frogs floating in my head everywhere.
I know it's executive. Open cut executive.
Okay, so breaker. I'm editing this, and I told you we'd had a few by now. Of course. Everyone knows the OCE is the open cut examiner, not the open cut executive. I think, Mad Mumzie, you were thinking SSE, Site Senior Executive. But OCE, especially my newbies, OCE is open cut examiner. But you'll know that because you'll hear it a million times anyway. And this is why you need to listen to Mad Baz episode, I'm pretty sure it's 44. I'll leave a link in the show notes, which will be madmumzie.com/beers92, the number 92. I don't think I remember later that it's actually OCE. And we just keep digressing, don't we? In the middle of a story, and then that points us off to somewhere else. But it's good that our bearded underground fella, who I'm sure you love as well now, knows how to bring us back. Most times. Oh, my God. Okay, OCE, Open Cut Examiner. Right, back to it.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh my God, I have to listen.
So he's the big...
He's the overall controller who can shut it down over everybody else.
Yeah, right. So, but the supervisors that are running around, like your... do you call them shift bosses? Or supervisors? It's a
supervisor, same thing, but
yeah. Do they not carry those tools with them to just do spot checks, random checks?
Maybe some.
Starts to smell a bit iffy around here. I'll just... Because that's what I do. I wouldn't do them all the time. I'd mostly do them when I wanted to.
But we're not underground either.
Yeah.
And we had also
but when it gets
lightning,
a bit gnarly, that's
lightning.
When oh, yeah, we had the same,
you had to get up on the highest dump and read the lightning. And we're like, mate, you can see the drills are in the bottom of the pit.
Yeah.
And they got their masks up and shit. Oh, I always used to shit myself for them.
Yeah.
And there's a lightning storm. You can see, you know what it's like when you're out there. And it's like, We're like, fuck me. And they're like, no, it's still 30 kilometres away. Like, really? You know, it looks like it's about right on us. Or then they're on the other side of the mine, under a lighting plant, being a moth. Listen to episode 44. And then that's 30 kilometres that way, and then they get back to the start, and then it's 30. So they're 60 kilometres away to read how far the lightning is.
Have you seen one of those weather zone things? What we used to look at on the for lightning?
I've seen lots of stuff online.
Yeah, this
but
is...
we're in our truck. We can't see it, and we don't know what the But they had a thing they pointed. They knew, or I don't know. They had an app. There's an app for that.
Yeah, there's an app for that.
And
it's,
as over the years, it progressed. Oh, well, that might be what.
Because all the mines in that area, there was 9 pits, and I've got their login, which I use quite frequently. Not quite frequently, only when there's a lightning storm around. So you've got all your red dots, and then there's, within 15 k's, there's like a red line around every single one. Or there's like a circle in it. All the circles join, and it becomes like an area.
Yep.
And then there's a blue
So it
one.
says your exclusion zones are very visual.
Yeah, and then there's a blue one, and then there's a yellow one, or what I think it is. And so you get it's within 30k or 40k's, or then it's 30k's and then 15k's. And 15k's, every time it gets closer, the rules change.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's procedure
And this
for that.
thing's just too easy, and we would see this.
That's probably what we have as well, I'd say.
Yeah.
I must find that out. I'll get on.
I can do that. Yeah.
And it's definitely Open Cut Examiner. I can't believe I didn't. That
Open Cut
shows I've been
Examiner.
out of mining for a couple of years because it's not inbred in my. But they're the OCE. They have the overriding. But as I was coming out of mining, and I know they're doing it now, a lot of the supervisors were being trained to be OCEs. And we didn't like that because they've got they're not independent. They also know the production requirements that they're getting pressured by above management. But an OCE is just all about the safety.
Do you have foreman?
Yeah, we have supervisor.
And then next one is?
Superintendent.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
And the next one?
Next one would be the, what would that next one be? The mine superintendent.
Mm-hmm.
And then the SSE is the top of the wazza, site senior executive. He's the one who goes to court when it all goes to shit.
Really?
Mm.
Guess who the one is that goes to court in underground?
Who?
Me.
As what?
As the direct supervisor.
Yeah.
And the foreman, totally out of the loop.
Foreman being above direct.
He's the one. He's the one
who told you what to do.
He's the one that looks after all the super. He gives me the grand plan.
So if you're the supervisor, your foreman would be like our superintendent, who looks after all the supervisors.
Who knows who liaises with all
what the plan is from the engineers,
all the geos, all the survey, those people, and he knows the big plan like for the next month and beyond.
Yeah.
Whereas my job was to get the information from him and basically and when it goes south, I'm the one that goes to coroner's court. He doesn't.
Really? Is there no accountability for
And then
above?
the one above him, who is the project manager, he don't go, and he's the one that tells the foreman that we need, we need.
Because it goes downhill.
But he's more of, he more works with the client, as in what they want and how they want it done, and he looks after the logistics of the mine and that sort of stuff. And then above him is another one that holds a ticket, and he's the mine manager.
Oh, we have a mine manager too.
Yeah, and he's the one...
Before the
one,
SSE.
Yeah,
mine
he's
manager
the one who'll
before
sit
SSE.
in court next to me.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, me and him are the ones
Yeah.
that are kind of in the like the kangaroo.
Yeah, well, because you're the immediate in controller person.
That's right.
I think here would be the same. It would be the in charge supervisor, but I think it goes right to the top, to the SSE, and they've been. I know the CFMEU have been fighting to make them accountable.
Yeah.
To make sure, because everyone has to be passed out on all the things, and you've got to make sure that everyone's doing everything that they're meant to be doing is your job.
Yeah.
And we've had, over here we had that many deaths and everything in the last 5-10 years now, I suppose, time's going on. And the SSEs, nothing was happening. They would just change the rules, change the SOPs, change this, change that. There was not enough accountability, but now the last couple of deaths, it's they're going through, and then there's high court challenges and all sorts of shit going on because they are making them be fucking accountable. To make sure we're all safe.
Exactly.
It's their duty of care.
Yeah.
And it's our duty of care to be safe. It's our duty of care to make sure everyone else is safe. But it's also their duty of care as the head of the whole shebang to make sure we all are. And so when it comes down to it, ultimately they're meant to be the ones that are accountable.
That's why.
So why would you want to do that? Oh, I don't know why you'd want to be one of them.
That's what I'm
no, I'd rather sit here and have a beer.
I'd rather travel around the country. But it's not that hard to do. I never struggled with shift bossing at all. It was an easy job. I couldn't believe what they were paying me to do what I was doing. But in saying that, there's a lot of shift bosses out there. Not saying I was a good one, but
you can say it.
But it's where was I going with this? It's great to have all the fluffy stuff that people design. These forms that must be filled out, because I know there needs to be a trail of accountability. Using those take fives and all that sort of stuff. And the tick and flicks, and they implemented a new one just before I left, which I think was just a step backwards. But anyway, that's my views. Way less paperwork for me, which was great, but I didn't think it was ever going to work. I don't know. We're interested to see one day if I ever go back, if it's still there. But at the end of the day, the bloke that goes and visits people on the job, what they're doing, the one that's in charge, that runs the whole shit show, is the one that I think should be responsible. Because night shift, I've got 40 blokes, well, that's including the surface, the fitters and stuff. There's no one else there. And you're pretty much running the whole shit show, and you've got to make decisions real quick, not only from production wise but also safety wise. People on the radio, copy shift boss. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Is that what you call shift boss?
Yep.
Do you have a number? You don't have. I suppose there's only one of you, so you're the shift boss.
Copy shift boss. Anyway, what's going on? And when they say, can you come and see me? I think, for fuck's sake, because a lot of it's short calls. Do you know where this is, or you know where he is, or what heading you want me to go to next, or that sort of thing. That's okay. That's production shit. But when he says, I need you to come and see me, for fuck.
Shit's gone down. And then you don't want to say it over the radio.
No, that's right. And then you go down, there's a ute line on the side, and it's like, for fuck's sake. And you've got 12 hours of paperwork to do above your 12-hour shift.
Yeah.
But WA is the only state too that I, as a shift boss, had to go and sit a proper fucking hard exam, like no cheating, no multiple choice questions. I had to write shit down for 6 hours. And there was 2 parts to this exam.
Is that like a set for?
Oh, nothing. No. It's no. There's no. It's all about. There's one part is regulations, and the other part is the act, and the act is the law.
And that sounds like OCE.
And you have to you have to pass the law.
You have to pass the law, and you have to know all. And they ask you questions live.
No.
They did that for the OCE.
Nah,
they have like a 3-panel people drilling you on the law.
Changing.
Like,
that was that. We used to have that if people were, which a lot of miners are, not so good on the pen, scribing. Some of them you can do it as you can have a scribe with you if you can't write very well, and you tell them what the answer is.
And it's good that mining allows for that. I've seen that.
If you get even worse than that, you get almost there, but you're not. They look at your answers because it's not really when you do the regulations. It's not answers so much as in what happens here, and it's a bit of a story you got to write.
Yeah.
Like they'll say, okay, a truck's caught on fire. On this level, you've got the call at 3 o'clock in the morning. What do you do?
Oh.
And then so you've got to write a big long story, and the whole thing is you've got to incorporate all the regulations. I've secured the scene. I've got a fitter down there with a bloody torch going. Got the fire extinguishers there. Blah blah blah. And then you've got to go. Not only what you do, like evacuate the mine, call an emergency, that sort of thing. Make sure ring up mines rescue. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then there's also the follow up to it all. How would you cope with that? What would you do with that?
Yeah.
So it's a big thing. It took me a couple of months to study it, and very few people pass it on their first crack. But they are now going, I believe, onto more of an online thing because a lot of people just can't be fucked.
Did you pass it in your first crack?
Surprisingly, I did.
Oh, give me a high five! We missed
did it again.
I knew that you were going to say that.
Because
it's in your bones. You can hear it. It's in your blood.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I did. I was a little bit surprised. I didn't think I went all that well. But there is, like the law. There's 4 questions that you have to know, and you have to pretty much write them out verbatim. And then there's one in the regulations. There was 10 reasons for. The 10 things that are reportable must be reported to the mines department. 10 incidents or events, which was easy because it was a 60% pass at 100. So there's 100 points for each exam, and you had to get 60 in each to pass.
Yep.
Back in the day, they used to tell you your score. When I did mine, they weren't telling you what your score. You either passed or you failed. Oh. So I never really found out how well I did.
If you just snuck in, or if you smashed it, like right. I want to know. Or if I just snuck in, I don't want to know.
So there was months of writing down all these 4 questions until I knew those, and then you can probably sneak through the last, 15-20% of it, and then pass. So anyway, I did all right.
I didn't know that. So how long ago was that then?
What's that? Well, when I did that, 2013.
Oh, that long ago, right?
But I didn't start shift boss until
because you didn't, did you?
No,
you didn't
I started
want
the jumbo. No,
so you'd already passed it, but you were happy on your jumbo. Didn't want all that.
That's right, and I would have still been on the jumbo if my knee wasn't fucked.
Yeah,
because my knee played up because up and down the steps all day.
Yeah.
It's only 3 steps, but pretty much vertical. And after doing that for 16 years, and just, I guess, walking around on uneven ground all day and things give way. But since I've been off the drill, that left knee's good, and now the right one's playing up for some reason.
Right.
But anyway,
it's all the getting in and up and down
that's
in your
old.
camper van while you're travelling around Australia.
No, it's not. I'm far from fingered, but I think it's just age now.
And so, what did you prefer out of all the jobs that you've done?
Everyone likes playing with explosives, so that was fun. and was when I started, because we were actually lighting the fuses in those days. We weren't using electric debts, so that was a lot of fun. I liked the loader. I reckon the loader was good, as I was quite good at that, surprisingly. The jumbo, not so good, but could hold my own. I was too pedantic, too fussy about being neat. So that slowed
rather than production, getting your numbers up.
You know, it's nice to drill holes, but they need to go in the right direction. People get away with some shit idea. Fuck. Anyway, that's another story. But the jumbo, and of course the jumbo. When I left that place, I get $1,800 a shift
for 1 day.
1 day on a jumbo.
1,800. Is that's
Pretty,
gross? And then the government takes.
Government takes
depends on your setup.
Yeah.
Yep. But fuck, that's a lot. Because that is the highest tier as an operator in
underground. Yeah, it's like a digger, I suppose. Is it?
Not sure. I think maybe dragline.
Oh yeah, but anyone that's on that can tell where to dig dirt.
Loading units get the most in open cart. And the more you can operate, the more you get. Usually, you have level like 1, 2, or 3.
And then you go to a shift boss, and you're still getting good money, but you're probably getting 2/3 of what they're getting.
So it was less than jumbo operator.
Yeah, because you're not on the tools, you're not sweating your box off, and you're not dealing with the shit.
Except from above.
Believe
management.
Me, it's not.
And
easy.
the crew.
It's fucking hard work.
What, jumbo?
Oh shit. Yeah.
So tell me why, because the drills that I know are open cut drills, and they're flat and they're on the surface, and they don't have. And I have interviewed Matt on my podcast. Find that when you're travelling. He's jumbo operator, WA. Also has another podcast, Life of Mine. And he's been on my podcast and I've been on his. But we never really got into the nitty-gritty of what the fuck is a jumbo or what it does. I know now that it's a drill, and I've always known that that's what you do. And so when I found out that's what he does, I'm like, oh, that's what Hot Mate does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same.
Yes. So for my peeps who are listening who don't know, can you tell us?
Not without a picture.
Well, you got no picture, so
no.
You can. If you didn't have a picture, how would you describe it? Oh, that's a good question.
It's an electrically operated, or electric over hydraulic, I guess you want to call it. Most people would see it that way. So, electric motor powers a hydraulic pump, which makes typically 2 booms, which have 2 long rails, different lengths, some of them 6 meters, or they'd probably say 6 meters typically. 2 booms hanging out there, 2 rails sitting on top of these booms on a knuckle.
Yep.
So they can move in pretty much any direction. Said to me once that it looks almost like a praying mantis.
That's where my brain is going, but I thought I'd wait until after to say I'm thinking praying mantis with the legs out the front.
Yeah, that's right. It's little legs, and they go
2.
any direction. Yeah, and
so it's not 1; it's 2.
There is single boom jumbos. There are 3 boom jumbos.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
okay.
I've never seen a 4 boom jumbo, but I imagine that someone's got one.
Have
somewhere.
you operated
only single and twin boom? Yeah.
Not a 3.
Nah.
Right, why are you on my podcast again? No.
Because they're mostly overseas. They use them a lot. In Australia, no. And we also do things with our jumbos in Australia that are pretty much forbidden overseas, which is rattling the ground.
Oh, giving it a bit of a tickle up.
Yes, and they... Not just drilling, but installing ground support. We can, because on these rails sit 2 steels, anything from 3.1 to 5.5 meters long.
Yep.
But mostly 4.3 or 4.9. All steels that you buy are in 700 mil increments.
What's a steel?
Steel's a drill rod.
Oh, right, yep.
But they're called steels when they're on a jumbo, but if you're drilling with a long hole, they're called rods.
Right. Yep. Copy. Thank you.
So, what were we talking about? Yeah. So anyway, this thing.
The praying mantis.
Praying mantis. He will turn up after a heading's bogged out, which means the loader's been in there and he's moved all the dirt from the heading after it's been fired.
And what's a heading? I was going to ask you
the
that
heading
before.
is the drive or is the end of the tunnel.
Right, so where we're heading to.
Yeah, so
Right.
you've got a flat...
So it's not on our back, but it's where we're heading to.
And you've got a flat face.
Yes. Yep, I know what a face is.
Yep, turn up at the face because you've got faces in...
We have
in hard rock,
faces,
yes.
that's right.
So he'll turn up and he'll be changed over into bolting mode, which is one steel and what they call a dolly. So he'll drill a hole and then you'll put a rock bolt onto the boom and you thread it into the back of the dolly. You drill your hole. Did I say that? You drill your hole and the holes are about 43 millimeters in diameter. And these split sets, they call them, which is just a round piece of metal with a split down the side of it.
Yeah.
And you jam them up into the hole. And because the hole is smaller...
The jumbo does.
The jumbo does.
Yep.
With the percussion he uses to normally drill,
Yep.
it goes brrrr at about 130 or 40 decibels.
Up.
And he
He's pointing
bashes...
up.
Into the walls, into the backs.
Into wherever
and
it
he has
needs to be, yeah.
Yeah, he has a specific pattern to do.
To drill, like a drill pattern has... In open cut, they have a drill... Now we're going to walk over here and we're going to drill there.
He has a ground support standard, so he's got rings of bolts to put in, and they've got to be so far apart this way and so far apart that way. And that's minimum. If you require, if the ground's a bit shitty, you can put in more. It doesn't matter. That's not a problem. The client will pay for those, no problems.
Yeah, if it means holding it.
That's right, to keep it safe. Yeah, and there's a lot of jumbo operators that'll be all right, and fucking drill the face because they also paid for meters as well. So,
I knew that was going to be there.
And then my job was, hey, fucking shut this shit down. What about up here? You know, how about this?
This is how we kill people.
That's right. And then,
greedy jumbo operators. Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I kind of did, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, and so once he's supported the ground, then it's because there's generally a little bit of a mess after that happens because he's rattling down loose rocks and little scats and things. And a scat is just a small stone that can slip through the mesh.
Yeah.
The mesh is 100 mil squares.
And is that over the top of the jumbo?
Yeah.
And are you inside a cab?
These days, yes, pretty much. The air conditioned cabs are a big thing these days, but generally it was just like a FOPS, which is like a ROPS, but it's a falling object instead of a
rollover protection system.
Yeah, this is a falling object one, so it's a little bit different, but same sort of shit. So anyway, that's the cab. And
hang on, my brain. So you'd be there old days, inside basically a cage.
Yeah.
Doing all of that.
Can you shout there?
We can. I'm just interviewing him on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
We're talking underground mining.
But in the dark, that's why you're in underground.
That's where he likes it. He misses that.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't even realise that it got dark.
just had a visit by the project manager.
Yeah. The project manager, the OCE is coming to see you per se.
Yeah, all good, boss.
All good.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Be in soon.
You don't come and sign me paperwork?
Pardon?
You don't come and sign me paperwork?
Oh, you bring it up here.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah, because it's just surface miner, right?
Because that's
sunshine miner.
That's my air-conditioned office, so I can't stray too far from it.
Well, you'll have to. Mine's higher up than
Yeah, love it. Oh, I'm keeping that in.
Yeah.
No, need another one.
So,
what are we up to?
I know, and that's the thing when you get interrupted.
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah. I can have one of mine. I've got heaps. You like mine?
Where? Not near.
Oh, you've not got heaps. I'll have Barry's too then. Please. He won't mind.
No, he won't mind.
Love you, Baz.
He's got
Mad Baz. So we were talking about jumbo and operating those and being in a cage in the old days.
Well, it wasn't
without...
really. It's not a cage. All it was just a big chunk of steel sitting on two supports. That's all.
So without a cage.
No, there's no cage. It's all completely. It's
like
just
for the person standing there. I mean.
Yeah, that's right.
Operating. There was nothing.
You don't put them in a cage, no. You just put them underneath a big chunk of steel, which is supposed to.
No, protect.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Really? But anyway, now, what are they like now? Tell me what they're like.
Exactly the same, but they've got windows. and a windscreen wiper, sometimes.
Yeah.
That was the biggest pain in my ass, because the windscreen wipers all get smashed by everything.
On the dust and the water. And then if your water washer runs out and you go too early and
So a lot of miners are not fans of closed cab jumbos. Plus they're harder to get in and out because you can't get out real quick.
If shit goes to shit.
No, just to get your job done.
So why do you have to get out of the jumbo if you're just like going up there like
because
a drill? They don't get out too often.
No, someone needs to put the rock bolts onto the boom, and that can be 33 bolts for a heading. It might be 3 rings of 11 bolts or something, or it depends on the mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have a jumbo assistant? I think there
some
is, isn't
do,
there? What do they call
don't.
them? There's a name for that.
Well, nippers.
Matt told me
nippers.
That. Nippers, that's it.
But I used to call them fluffers. But anyway, if you're lucky enough to get a fluffer, that's a good thing. But
or a nipper is the official
A nipper
term.
is the official term.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Some mines you're blessed with that, others.
And so
not.
what is their role? Because my listeners would see that role advertised.
They are there to make sure that jumbo operator never has to get off his rig. So everything.
They do all the things.
They just run around like a blue ass fly. They run out all the hoses, hang all the cables, sort out pumps, set up the headings for him before he gets there, so all the mesh and the bolts are there. Otherwise, got to drag it down past the drill. So while he's drilling the face, they jump in the ute and to the surface and off to the next heading, set that up, and then when he gets there, it's all ready to roll. And then he helps them de-rig. Wind up all the hoses, wind up all the cables, and
there's a train. We need a cheers for a train.
Hey, we like trains.
Cheers.
Toot toot.
Toot toot.
So there, and that's where you work out whether the joker's going to be any good or not.
The nipper.
Yeah.
The fluffer.
The fluffer, because that breaks.
Are they going to have a crack or not?
Yeah, that breaks most people.
And do you see that as a good grounding
100%.
before you become a jumbo operator?
Oh, there's years to go after that from a nipper. Oh yeah, no, there's it's
what else? What else would you do?
Well, from a nipper you go onto a truck, and then from a truck.
So you don't just go from nipper to jumbo.
Oh shit, no. Oh no. It's like a fucking apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Because you can't be a jumbo operator.
You can deal with the god that is the jumbo operator. Like
That's
a
right.
dragline operator.
And those jumbo operators, when I was shift bossing, I left them. I would try to. I didn't want sookie jumbo operators. I expected them to run the mine or run their show.
Yeah. With their nipper.
With their nipper, and if there's a problem, come and see me, and I'll go visit him when I'm, supposed to go and see him, like my statutory obligation.
Yeah, your duty of care.
Well, that's right, to go and see him, and I do that. But I would make sure that they weren't one of these sooky ones that would. Oh, I haven't got me plans. I haven't got me plans. Oh, fuck! You ain't got your plans. You know.
But that's a big deal. They need the plan.
They do. You can't drill without a plan.
Right. I've heard our drillers.
Yeah.
The plan isn't cut.
So there's
that's not
some,
being a sooky jumbo operator, is it?
Well, yeah, sooky, disorganised, relying on other people. Yeah,
let me know if you haven't got your plan earlier.
Because they are the ones. They are the ones that are making money.
Yes.
For the mine. They are the god. They're it.
That's right.
So they reckon.
Just ask them, they'll tell you.
Yeah, that's right.
See, typical, that's dragline.
Yeah.
And shovel and digger.
Some of them are really good.
Cut.
I've met a lot of those.
Of course there are. Every role in mining, there's good ones and shit ones.
For sure.
And for my listeners, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a good one or a shit one that we talk about?
But some people don't even want to be there. They're quite happy. I've met a lot of blokes who are just quite happy, just nippering. They're just young and fit, and they just reckon this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And they haven't seen the other bits.
The rest of it.
Yeah,
they haven't been there long.
Nah, not really. But and even blokes that
they just see the money.
Yeah, that are good at it, and I know that they're not going to go very well anywhere else, and they should sort of stay a nipper, and they can eventually go somewhere. But the company likes to promote them, which is a great thing. But if they don't want to be promoted, and they're really good at what they do, and they're not going to be good at the next job, and they don't want to do it, why don't you just give them a little bit more money
to stay and be the best freaking nipper, and be a nipper it is
that can train the next nipper? Because this is where another little problem I used to have to deal with was great. I'm all for promoting people. I reckon that was the best thing ever, because the more people on my crew that could do the more
versatility.
Versatility, exactly.
Yeah. For hot seating and all
better
that
for
shit.
me. So I was all out there for promotions, but now I don't know where I was going with that either.
About nippers being trained by
new and when you get a good nipper,
nippers.
And then they send in the service crew, and you don't want to do it, and then you might have colour shit nippers, and they'll train the new nippers, and then that little gene pool becomes less.
Oh, they train them to be shit nippers.
Well, they're not as good as the good one. The good one, he knows all the tricks, and he's been great at it.
But he's moved on to another level. Yeah.
And the other two that don't want to be nippers, that want to go on a truck or something, and then just hate being a nipper, they train the new nippers, and therein lies a bit of a training gap.
I can see that would be an issue.
Yeah. Sure. So there was that. And what were we talking about? Oh, that's right. Then the jumbo. So he's put in his rock bolts. And then what he does after that is he gets a bit of a clean-up, because all those rocks fell down.
Yep. A clean-up. Who does the clean-up?
The loader. Yep. So
right,
the face from as low or grade line, which is, or not the grade line, the floor is all nice. Everything's beautiful. And then he drills the face, starting at the bottom. And then in the bottom holes, generally we put what they call lifter tubes in there, which is just like a PVC irrigation pipe. Of about 45 millimetres diameter. Mm. Because as you're drilling the face, rocks fall down. And if you haven't got a piece of tube, probably about 1 metre long, in those holes, well then charge up comes along, and they've got to dig and try to find these little wiener holes.
Mm.
So anyway,
so you're not drilling like one big hole that is the tunnel.
No. You're drilling a shirtload of holes.
A shirtload of holes.
If you were to look at a face, or to look at a wall that was 5 metres by 5 metres,
yep,
the holes would be about 900 apart, which is say 3 foot, 900 apart, all over the face. Where the backs are, the holes are a little bit closer together, because you use low impact explosives in the back, so you don't upset the ground too much.
Yep, which is at the top.
Yep, and the walls. And then in the middle of it all, you drill what they call the burn, which is one small hole, and then around that small hole, the one right in the middle, which they call the shot hole, there's a series of 100 mil or 4-inch holes around that. And so when you press the button, all the dets that are in the face are all on timers that are inside the detonator. And the first one goes off instantly. And because it's got these big holes around it, that gives it enough relief to make a small hole. If you know, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Can you understand?
So you're getting rid of that bit to make that bit.
Yeah. So when that first one goes off, because he's got these big holes around him, the rock's been weakened that much that if you were only to set off that one, you would end up with a hole that would be, say, half a metre by half a metre.
Yep.
And then if you're really quick, like a half a second later, then another hole next to it will go off, and that will fire the rock into that void that's already been created by that first hole.
By the first hole goes off first.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then that goes bang, and then the one completely opposite to it will go off next, and that makes a bigger hole. One above it, one below it, and there's a bigger hole. So it's just sort of stripping the ground into the void.
Into the void, which is the
first hole. When the shot hole goes off, and those reamers are there, and you've created like a cylinder right to the end of the face, or like 3 meters long.
Like into the next.
Into the rock, yeah.
Yeah, and so do you? I know you drill the holes, but do you do the drill them like the blasting part as well, or just
when the mine's young? Yes, there was only 5 of us, so we all did everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but
in a big mine,
jumbo
in a big mine, you've got a whole different.
Someone else will come in.
One of the boys. Yeah, he might even be a loader driver. He could be a service crew guy that wants to learn. But you got to charge up crew. Normally,
so the charge up crew come in after you've done those special holes that you just.
That's right.
Described.
Once you've
then where do you go? Just back out while they do their shit, and then you do the blast, or they do the blast. They do the blast.
They do.
And then the loader comes and cleans out that's the
next one, and
then you go in and do it again.
Exactly.
And ground support. So that's all your rock bolts.
Yeah. So it's just a
support what you've just blasted.
Yep.
Right.
It's easy peasy.
Because we have, and I don't really understand this yet, but we have what they call, I think it's a longwall miner in open cart, and a lot of times they'll come into an area that they might be the initial portal hole creator when they're going to go in underground into a ramp that we've already come down, taken off all the pre-strip, taken off the coal, got down as low as we can, but we can't safely go any lower, and there's more coal underneath.
That's right.
And so they'll smash a portal into that.
That's exactly what happens in the.
I think they bring in a longwall miner, but I always thought the longwall miner was just like a one-nosed, big fat drill. I don't know that it is.
No,
it might be like a jumbo, but
what I've seen is it's got a road header on the end.
Yes, which is quite big.
Yeah, and then they just go and it wiggles around from left to right, and all the coal ends up on a conveyor belt and all spits it out.
Yeah, because they have a conveyor belt. That's right, and because
I've only seen it in America.
Well, we have them here, and they go in rather than the people go in.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they'll go in and then the people go in after they
one I saw, he sat out there and he was on remote control. And I remember he's old, because only one of those shows on telly, and he reversed back and he ran over the trailing cable, which is because obviously electric.
Well, you don't run over the cable.
No. And that's the same with us, because it's the same thing. We've got a trailing cable hanging out the back of the jumbo, connected to 1,000 volts.
Yeah, right.
And running over one of those.
So
because production, and plus they're about $170 a metre.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like when you work around
or more.
an electric shovel as a truckie in the open cart, because normally most of the machines are hydraulic, but they're a lot common here is the electric rope shovel, which is like a drag line pretty much, but smaller, and it goes that way instead of that way. Instead of going scoopy that way, it scoops that way, loads it into us. They have a big cable that comes up the guts, and so, don't run it over.
Oh no!
And they double side load, so you come up and you've got to see which side of the trucks, and they don't always double side load. Depends if they're in the corner. Like, there's an art to it to know where the fuck to go. You're sitting over that side, and he's sitting there with his bucket out, like, where's my fucking truck? Oh, it's over that side. Oh, whoops, stuff that, you know. And that's why you got to listen to the two-way, because you'll know, and depends if they're and they are gods, or they think they are.
Yeah, well,
they're a big god.
Exactly the same.
They're a big god, and then a greedy god on I've never spoken about this, but a greedy god on a rope shovel is the worst scenario ever, because they don't move their pinata, I think it's called. So it holds the cable up. There's a little thing, and they turn around with their big bucket with their teeth, and they'll pick it up, and then they'll go, hold out, you truckies, I'm just going to have a move. And the dozer will, do his thing, and then they'll move, and then sometimes there's a light vehicle pulling cable or whatever, and that's good. Might be good time for a bit of a nap on night shift. But make sure you wake up, right? Especially if you're first truck. So... and then he'll walk in and he'll move over a bit, and then he'll go, and you don't know which side will be going first. You got to try and read their mind. But if they're greedy, they don't do that because they want the numbers. They don't turn around and do the picky up and the move, which can take 10 to 30 minutes sometimes. And they'll just keep digging into the face, into the face, into the face, into the face. And your truck... You've got to get to where they want you to go, because they're double side loading, and they want you to get on the most fucking weirdest, insane angle, especially when you're on the t'other side, and you've got to back in on your off side, which is right, and you're like, and it's 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, you fucking serious? And there's a cable out there, and for me to get where he wants me to go, I've got to run that shit over, but you can't. So you go as close as you can. You go, and then you've got to really swing it around, and you're pointing this way, and the cable, the cable is in front of your truck. So don't forget, when you take off, hard left to get the fuck out. And it's like, can you just do a move along, so we can all just, and because you get better production.
That's right.
Because we're going to get in quicker, and then someone hits the shovel, and that's the end of the shit show.
That's right. And that's
it's all over.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I've never spoken about that on the podcast before. Don't be a greedy fucking shovel operator.
That's shortcuts.
Lazy. It's lazy. That's what that is.
Well, that's that. Yeah,
which is what reminded me of that.
We just called that sort of stuff shortcuts. Yeah. Well, it's the same. Like I'm saying, when we the lifter tube.
The what? Sorry.
The lift tube. The lifter tube. That's the bottom row.
Lifter tube.
Lifter tube. Yep. Bottom row of holes. A good jumbo operator will he will scale the face, which is mechanically scale the face by using the rotation and percussion of the drill to knock off any loose rocks and shit before he drills it, and he will use decent length lifter tube. So it doesn't get buried by the rock as he's drilling the other 75 holes that go in the face. And the shitty ones, fuck's going in the face, that takes too long. I've only got to, lift the tubes half the length they should be, and because he hasn't scaled it. So the charge up boys come down, and it's not a fucking pleasing environment at the best of time, and then they're in there digging, looking for these lifters.
Manually.
Yeah, using a thing we call a pelican pick.
Is that like a shovel?
It's a pick on one side and a shovel on the other side, and it does look a little bit like a pelican's head.
Yeah.
That'd be I was always meaning to knock one off, but
but you're too honest, and you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, great gardening tool, I think.
Yeah.
I never thought of it in the day, but they would be a good gardening tool.
Yeah, you can probably buy them.
You can. They're made by Cyclone. The mob that makes rakes and shovels and shit. Yeah.
Well, there's add that to your list.
I'm buying one. Nah.
Oh.
But it might be too much work anyway. I'd probably throw the thing over the back.
Yeah. So that's a lazy effort thing.
Yeah, well, that and that's what you're talking about. So it's the same thing where get this drill, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. That's for someone else to worry about. And I tried to instill in the young fellas was, this is a cycle. This is, and I said, it's important you do your job, your part of the job, as best you possibly can, as neatly as you possibly can, with the thought in the back of your head that someone's following me. Because this is how it happened. That jumbo operator has done a shit job of making the face safe, and he's buried the lifters.
Yep.
Charge up crew
hasn't done the scaling.
So the charge up crew, most of them will dig and sweat and lose 10 kilos, and they'll find those lifters, they'll charge those lifters. But then there's other guys that will just charge what they can get. And when they come up and say, we only charge what we could get, and I thought, fuck, here we go. So when you fire that heading,
it's going to go to shit.
Yeah, and you've got lumps and bumps. And then the next one down there after that is the loader. And he gets down there and he can't dig out the floor because there's a big lump over here, and there's all things not shot, and so the next jumbo operator comes in, which is unless you're following yourself, which very rarely sort of happens except for the small mines.
Maybe there's a breakdown and now it's going again.
Because he's gone somewhere else or day shift, because it happens.
Yeah, the other fucking crew.
The cycle happens pretty quickly, and and you've got to deal with these, putting extra stabs in the floor to get rid of these lumps, and everyone's been digging and trying to get it all back onto grade. Because we use to navigate our way underground. Obviously, the surveyors do things, but all we have is a map generated by the surveyors. They put a laser.
And it's computerised, right? It's not like your big road atlas that you're driving around with.
Just a sheet of paper.
Oh, it's a sheet of paper.
Sheet of paper.
All right, copy.
And on there is the laser, where the laser lives, and it's just they just drilled a hole in the wall. And you stick this little laser thingy in there, and it shoots down to the face, tells you how far away from the end design you are, and the laser might hit the face at 500 mil from the right-hand wall, 4.5 from the left-hand wall, 1.5 down is the floor, and 3.5 to the backs.
Yep.
And so then it's all marked out with paint, and that's where they drill their holes. But if you've got, the laziness happens, and then you've got this big lump over here that's halfway up the face, and you've got to put a stab there. Same as what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can see that. And when you're talking about scaling in open cut, and I've seen that with the other fucking crew, right? We haven't gone as far as that. You come in on night shift, you're like, how the hell are they that far up on this bench, this base? You can look back and you're like, they haven't scaled the wall as we're going. And because we're going down, and that wall, stay there. That is snot that is going to fall down on someone, or we're going to have a big issue down the bottom. We're going to have single lane mining, because we've got to go around, because that big snot is going to come down.
That's right.
Because fucking A crew on night shift didn't scale it. And so it depends on the supervisor or the shift. What do you call it?
Shift boss, yeah.
The shift boss.
He's got to make sure it's done.
On day shift or night shift, who says it hasn't been done, we're going to go back and you do it. And then that cuts out on your production numbers.
That's right.
Because of what's happened. And
We have
if that's
exactly
a
the same
supervisor who isn't of that level, it doesn't happen. It's like, no, well, you know, we're going to keep going. We're going to beat them. And it's, oh, my God.
The terminology might be different, but the mining is the same.
It's the same. Production, and a lot of it is. The terminology is different.
I don't think a lot of blokes, I don't think they think a lot about production so much in it, except for our jumbo operators and a couple of others maybe. But people are just lazy. They know it's their job. They just walk past. They don't look, and they don't think about what, you know. They just don't. Most of them are good, but there's a few you just think, wow, man.
And that's where it comes back to culture as well.
Yeah. And it's so mechanised these days that as well that you don't, because you're all in utes and you're all bombing around everywhere, and you know everything's pretty easy. But
no one's getting
picking up a scaling bar and making your job safe before you start work.
Or picking up that banana peel that you left there last month.
Almost impossible to. I know. Look, I'm guilty. I'm guilty as well. I'm 100% guilty. I've been pulled up a number of times, and I've seen shit, and I thought, fuck. And then I got. Oh, it was a long time ago, but one bloke said to me, he was a good. He said, you've got to look. What did he say? Oh fuck! I can't remember now.
You can, if you could remember what.
Yeah. No, it'll come to me in a minute.
Yeah.
Well, Ray Finessi's name was anyway. I'm just trying to think the way how he said it. It was fucking priceless. It'll come to me. Right, keep going. Sorry.
I remember we had a superintendent, so our next level up from you. What did you call them?
The foreman.
Foreman.
Yeah.
Who said, and I've heard it quite a few times since then, but I remember the first time I heard it, and it was something like, I'm thinking the standard, but I don't think that's the right word. The standard that you accept is the standard that you get.
That's for
is
sure.
That is the right wording?
So
if that's how we roll on this crew, we don't give a fuck about keeping the crib up clean, and we don't give a, just throw your shit out. I can't see people, they read the paper and then it's shift change and they clean you've got to, clean your cab for the next operator, or they'll pot you in if it's too bad, like that can become a thing, and I've been involved in those things over the years. And you're driving up the ramp and there's fucking newspaper all over the ramp.
Ooh.
And we're doing shift change. I'm like, seriously, they've just thrown the newspaper out of the window.
Surely not on purpose.
Why else would you? What have you done? Just fly out the... They're cleaning up, like... They're throwing rubbish out the window because, okay, we're probably going to blow it up and doze over it or grate it. But that was so, so bad. I've seen that a few times. Yeah. And that's the way they bring it in with the standard you accept is the standard that you get, is more about your safety. And the way that you set up the pit and all everything else. But it's that as well. It's right down to how you look after your truck and...
Yeah, well, pride in your job, pride in your place, fucking all that sort of shit.
In the whole place, and even right down to your uniform and all of that.
Oh, I didn't mind being grubby.
Well, why down there...
I used to like my old shirts and stuff when they got really thin, they were that worn out, they were threadbare and everything because they were cool. Yeah. As in, temperature cool.
Yes, actually cool. Yeah.
Nothing worse than forgetting to wash a pair of pants or shirt before taking them down the hole. Because, they chafe in places that they shouldn't.
Yeah. Are you talking about new ones?
Yeah, brand spankers out of the packet.
Yes,
Fuck.
my listeners know that, and if you don't, you need to.
You are going to be
definitely join. Got a start date now? What?
Yeah.
Because we had a guy, and it came up as a safety issue at a pre-start for every crew. So we all got our new mine issue for the year when we were permanent, blah blah, and it all come in. An old mate, he's the same guy who used to wear wrinkled up shirts all the time and didn't really care. But he got new shirts and didn't wash them and wore them straight away. No singlet underneath, no bra like us women. And he got infected nipples.
I was about to say...
Because it was rubbing all day and it became a thing and we all know who it was.
Yeah, I was going to say Band-Aids on the nipples next. Yeah.
Right? And people don't understand that. So that is one of the... see, I'm giving away what's inside my course that people pay for. But that is one of the things. Yeah. And it's true. You got to wash the manufacturing juice off it. Not just to make it not look like, I'm the newbie. Once you've been there 5-10 years, you don't give a shit if you got a new shirt on or not.
No, that's right.
But when you are new, you don't want to look new.
You're sort of walking around like, you're sticking out like a third ball on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And also wearing in your steel cap boots. So I did some gardening today. I was meant to be doing lots of other things, but I ended up doing some gardening of an area that wasn't on the plan, under my lemon tree. It looks amazing. I'll show you a video after.
Well, that's all right, because...
but I wore new...
It's a step in the right direction.
It is, but the reason I bring that up is because I've got another pair of work boots that my daughter gave me, and my other ones are looking a bit sad and old, those pink ones. And... they felt a bit tight first time I wore them, and I always say, wear your work boots, round the garden, mow the lawn, get them wet, get them fucking wear them in, and then they become your best friend.
Nothing worse than dealing with that out there.
Yeah, especially for 7 days.
That's right.
For 13 hours at a time, blisters, been there, done that. And so... I wore them today while I was doing my gardening, and I'm like, I've even moved the other ones over, and I'm going to wear them to work on Monday because I'm like, they're all right. I just had to adjust because they're zip-up ones, but the laces must have been too tight, and so I released that, and they're fine. I'm like, right, yeah, so that's it. But that wearing your new work shirts without washing them first is a thing. You got infected nipples.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. I remember some rubbing that I wasn't quite sure how to deal with that. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a good note to end on.
Yeah.
Now, before we leave, usually the first question that I ask, but because this was a random, I'm going to hit record. Are you okay with that?
Record.
Interview. Because this podcast is called With the Beers with the Miner podcast, I asked my guests, what is your favourite beverage and also your best time to drink it? What is yours, bearded underground miner of ours?
Best beverage.
Your favourite beverage. Hang on. Oh, see, I'm slipping. It could be a beer, wine, spirit, or perhaps even a cup of tea.
How about I just go left field a bit?
Oh, here we go. And
I wouldn't call it my favourite beverage, but my most memorable beverage.
Oh, a rhino. Bit of a twist.
Hang on, I'm on fire. I only thought of it the other day. Haven't thought of it for years and years and years and years. We went to Early Beach.
Oh,
right up
up the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up the top of the hill. Say you're driving into Early Beach. On your right hand side there, just after that first roundabout, and back behind there was the Whitsunday Wanderers back in the day. Those little huts.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's a backpackers thing now, I think.
Oh no! It looks like Jurassic Park now.
Oh mate.
It's all weeds and it's a developer's dream. waiting to happen. But anyway, there was a nightclub up there. I don't think it lasted very long. It was only very small. And I don't know if the building's still there. There was something there, and maybe it was the place, maybe it wasn't. But we were in there one night, and we had a drac rack.
A what?
A drac rack.
Is that a drink?
It's a drink.
No.
And it cost a small fortune. And it came out, and there were 7 test tubes.
7?
7 test tubes in a rack. And it started off with not much red stuff, and then there was more blood in each one. And it was the bottom of it, this is from memory, it could have been all different, but I can sort of remember it as being like a clear liqueur, and then there was a couple other little colours, and then there was this little bit of red on the top.
Yep.
And the next one was less of that and more of that, and it went down.
Yeah.
And then, and the thing, and by the time you got through the 7, standing up to get the next one.
So what was the red?
I don't know what any of it was.
You don't know what...
No, would not have a bloody clue.
Oh my God.
But it was just a collection of liqueurs, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe that clear one might have been something like, was it called?
Like a tequila
Bacardi.
Or...
No, it was definitely not bitter, and it was very sweet.
Yeah.
I remember it being very sweet.
Wow, that's great.
I don't know, but maybe Bacardi, I don't know. You know, all those Voc things. It would have been a heap of those sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But, I think it was a...
That is very memorable, especially way back then.
Yeah. Well, I only just... I'd completely forgotten about it. And then we drove past and went, but that was where I'm pretty sure that's where we got the drac racks.
The drac racks. Oh, my God. And what is your normal drink? What's your normal go-to over in WA?
I go to beer, obviously. I go to Great Northern. I am a big fan of a thing I call a silver bullet, which is Sapporo cans, 600ml cans of Sapporo, that Japanese beer.
Oh, right, yeah.
You get it most places. But it has to be the steel, not the slender steel. It's not the slender can. It's got to be the steel one that's shaped like a schooner glass.
Oh, a can?
A can.
Shaped like... Oh,
it's really
That's
nice.
Put that on the list for when I come visit.
Oh, there'll be definitely some there. Yeah. I normally have a couple of those, and that's like a bit of a ramping up thing. I like them a lot. They're good. Don't like the bottles. Well, the bottles are made or bottled here in Adelaide with Cooper's. Cooper's got a license to bottle the. Comes out
righto.
Yeah. And then there's a can. I think there's a normal can, and I think that's the same sort of thing. But this one is imported from Nippon.
Right. Straight on over.
It's the real McCoy.
Yeah.
And these cans are quite fantastic. I kept a few because I bought a small, because they come in cartons of 12.
Yep.
About $70 for a carton, so I don't do it very often. But I saved some cans, and I thought, fuck, I can surely you can make a windmill out of these or something like that.
Yeah, something good.
Because they're silver, and they've got...
Too good to recycle.
Oh, shit, yeah.
For your
I'm not
10
giving them,
cents.
I'm not getting 10 cents for that.
No.
There's more than 10 cents worth of steel in that thing.
Oh. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. Oh, Bearded Underground Miner.
I've got no beer left.
Cheers. That's all right. We best go sort that out.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
And,
I'll show you. I've got three photos to show you.
Okay. And I'm going to go. I need to...
And then you got to go. Yeah.
I need to... No, I just need to pee.
Oh.
This was a very... Just so my listeners know, this was a very unplanned...
Impromptu
podcast. We were sitting out here...
How many syllables in that? Impromptu. That's 3 syllables.
That's
not
3.
bad for an underground miner.
Oh, bloody hell, right?
Hey?
Yeah. That's why you're the real miners, right? Yeah. And I said, I'm going to hit record. Are you okay with that? And he hasn't shut up since. So how good is that?
Yep.
All right.
Feed me enough beers and I'm happy.
All good. Okay. Cheers. Came and sat out the back and he talking underground. Like, hang on, I'm going to hit record. I got fucking gold dripping from the backs. Did you like that?
gold dripping from the backs.
We don't want gold dripping from the backs, though, because it might fall down on us.
Oh, no.
No, the backs. I got a new term. That's why I said that.
Fix the backs.
The backs. Gold dripping from the ceiling. Okay, I got to go because I'm going to pee.
From a poor little vug.
A vug. Did we even talk about the vug?
I don't know.
I don't think we did. Right.
We're
Just talk about the vug and the...
No, we did. I'm sure we did. Yeah,
we did.
Yes.
But I don't think you talked about how the vug... It doesn't matter because I won't add that in at the end.
Yeah.
But how the vug... If you put the explosives in the vug...
Ah, yeah. Because that's another picture.
Yeah, that's another podcast. We got another podcast to do. And you guys will love it. Okay, I'm going to go because I got to pee. I can't turn this off. What am I doing? Okay, love to see you. Bye.